And the thing that scares me more than anything, Max, is the fact that if you're hot on the money as the Syndra, you can completely negate the benefit that the package offers, right? You hit him with one scatter of the week, and he's got a package straight away out of harm's way. You realize that he could just die at any moment. So this feels like an exciting one to keep our eyes on. And certainly a case of you chucked out a few bans towards me, but I'm going to make sure that you feel punished. But those bans were wasted. Well, Fury and Antic came into this one tied in 5th position, but that deadlock is looking to be broken here tonight as Antic absolutely crushed it in Game 1. And we'll be hoping for a similar outcome here in Game 2. But Fury have changed things up, got themselves a couple of pocket picks, a couple of strength in the meta picks. But will it be enough to upset the odds?
Now, Skimmy, a little bit of a sigh of relief here from Fury as there's no level 1, at least for now, coming in from the side of Antic, right? Acknowledging that this Kalista Nautilus is a very strong level 1 combo. They don't really want to be running into that. I'd even wonder whether, if you're Fury, you look for something level 1, right? That is kind of Trundle's strong point, especially with his lethal tempo and his chomp, able to steal away that AD and able to really just beat on any single jungler in that 1v1, but instead going to opt for a standard level 1. And see where he moves as they complete their clear.
Yeah, must be so happy, as you say. A major sigh of relief, a more standard affair. They've taken out the cheese of the bot lane with those potentials for a Seraphine. They still have to endure that of a Senna and Tahm Kench. It feels like a long, long time since we've last seen this in the LCO. But it's come back. It's come back stronger than ever. And I suppose it continues to give right a headache as to how they try and balance this champion. Is it an AD carry? Is it support? Nobody really knows. They're farming. The next minute, they're not. But ultimately, incredibly strong with the support rework. You get the Bloodstone, you got the Yomus, and you just do so much damage when it doesn't feel like it should be possible. So we'll see how Hooper handles this one. He need to go for that first pick on the Kalista. Will he be able to be as strong as it was for King? As for top lane, though, I'd imagine it's probably the most passive of all the free lanes.
Yeah, it's pretty much non-interactive until level 6 comes through for the K'Sante, at which point there is a tiny bit of solo kill threat, but even then, Zoranus on this Gnar, we can see that besides his one death last game, he is very nimble, he is very able to get out of this situation, so just allowing Gnar to get control of the wave in the early game shouldn't be too difficult for him to crash these waves, get some favourable resets in, and come back to lane with a slight advantage.
Advantage right now is certainly favouring that of Fury, building up a massive wave in the spot lane, looking to try and cash it, so crash it, and in cash it, with the amount of gold, that'll go their way, but Scatter reconnects, one more auto attack will get it done, and you just can't beat Ryoma and Syndra. There's first blood.
63 games, and he is making it known here in Game 1 with the first blood coming out at 3 minutes. Just a pure solo kill. No summoners, no jungler intervention, just a pure mechanical 1v1 as Nox. Looking onto Swiper here, he does have the smart advantage.
He does, but he's going to draw the attention from the bot lanes as well to try and fight fire with fire. Straight 3v3 as the depth charge comes out. I said a depth charge, that is the Abyssal Voyage. As we jump on through looking for the knock onto Hooper, and Hooper's the focus, and Hooper is the kill! He'll fall on down. Meanwhile, the jungler interaction, that's what you mentioned, that Nox, as this Trundle's going to be incredibly strong into the Zen, and they went out on that 1v1. Draku flashes under the tower, but Chirp gets the kill. King answers back by taking Nox, and there were so many skirmishes, it was hard to keep tabs on it all.
It absolutely was hard to keep focus there. You can see it starts off with just a 1v1 with the junglers, right? Nox has the smart advantage, knows he's winning the 1v1 against the Xin Zhao, and that's how it all starts, right? Gets the smart off initially, but look down towards the bot side of your screen, right? You can see that Hooper is being contained all this time. Draku with a really nice Abyssal Voyage gets on towards Hooper, who takes so much damage here. And yes, you know, Nox is able to win that 1v1, but he has to commit flash. He has to go deep into the enemy territory, which will result in him going down to end off the play.
That's what we'd expect to see in the spot lane here. And Norva's getting aggressive, a Trundle wanting to invade, and a center route connecting. No follow-up on this occasion, as there is just going to be left to its own device. But Nox has been... he's got a special affinity, it feels like, towards the spot lane. He's got a point to prove here, that this is a champion I'm much more at home with. And I've got a champion or a bot lane pairing that need to win early. Or, much like you pointed out in draft, the scaling, the souls, the shields, it's all too much to bear.
What's really interesting as well, Skimmy, is King just went back then to get a support item. So up until then, I don't believe they actually had a support item in that bot lane. They opted for the pure kind of 1v1 or 2v2 power rather that the starter items give you. So a really nice adaptation into the skirmish-heavy bot lane of a Kalista Nautilus.
Yeah, we saw that a few times. We'll hold that point for 2 seconds, though, as another fight takes place. Roman setting it up beautifully for Swiper to intervene and assist. But actually, a good bit of positioning from Nox as well means that he, from the underside, can assist and prevent that from taking place any further. My previous point, really, when we had that double support meta on 14-1 was the fact that we saw some bot lanes actually just rock up with a Doran's starting item to be as strong as they could be, and then on that first back, then pick up the double support item afterwards. So it seems to be a bit of a common trend here of making sure that the level 1 is as strong as it can be.
Luckily, we've patched out that 14.2 double support thing. That was just the worst. Oh, Ryoma.
Oh, he's just missed. He's just missed. Beautiful attempt. Really like the confidence and the conviction to make it happen, but just a pixel too short to hit that scatter the week after.
It is, and on the bot side of the map, we can see Fury actually getting aggressive on their own accord, right? You can see that Nox is wrapped around here. It's a pretty hard bot lane to dive this center time Kench, but I think they're going to give it a crack.
They have no summoners though for the anti bot lane. This would be the best time to do it, especially when there's no Devourer as well. In comes the TP looking for the kill. They will find onto King. They completely ignore Dragcoop, but Zominus rocks up to the fight. Hooper living pretty right now, who picked up the shutdown and flashes out of vision, and they get in, they get out. The heist is complete.
But that's big though, Skimmy. Yeah, it's a 1-for-1, but ultimately you'd be pretty happy with that. With the amount of CS you're able to deny King from getting, you can see this Kalista already sitting up on 51 CS, feeling good. As we take a look again, right, like you crucially pointed out, there are no summoners, there's no exhaust, no heal. So the second that Nautilus auto attack lands onto King, he is going down.
He certainly is, but Finder will sacrifice himself for the greater good, make sure that he really is the only one, really, that should be falling. Ensure that Nox still continues to farm and still continues to be a bit of a menace. And continues to group up for the very first dragon on this game. Hiding in the bush right now, gonna get revealed. And then realize that we don't have to jump on you. You guys have spotted us out. Dragon is there, that's what they're playing for, but it's all about vision control.
It is about vision control at this point here. You can see that both supports wanting to get around towards this mid lane, trying to make a difference, and another mid lane is to push up, especially the fact that they have no flashes at this point. But it will be interesting to see what Nox prioritizes here. You can see he's just ticked over to level 5 on this Trundle, a very strong 1v1 duelist. And as opposed to last game where it was all Antic in the bot lane, Fury might actually get their hands on an objective.
You'd certainly hope so. Kalista obviously fantastic at taking these objectives down, as well as strong as the Ren can be, building up the damage onto your champions. It really obliterates these dragons as well. So, phenomenal start for them. A much different affair compared to game 1. And I really feel like if you're talking about mentalities, they've not really been shooken up at all.
No, it feels like they actually have been able to write that off, you know, assign it to some inexperience that they didn't quite have a grasp on last game. This game, instead, they've really turned it around, and it will be interesting to see whether they're able to keep up this pace, right? When you are playing a Kalista composition, it is very important that you keep your foot on the gas. Because you do get outscaled so heavily, you need to make sure you're constantly pressuring, constantly taking objectives. But speaking of pressuring, Ryoma.
Relentless, really is relentless. And I think the scaling conversation becomes quite interesting, right? Because you talk about it from a sense of Corki's going to be phenomenal late game, but then you compare that with the fact that, you know, a Syndra is looking to try and get as many splinters as possible, wants 120, currently sitting at 47. And then obviously the Senna wants as many stacks as well. So both these champions, they're happy if they win early, but they're really gambling for late.
Welcome back to lane, Chirp. Oh, there's just a solo kill.
Yeah, I wonder what's happened here. You can only imagine, with a Ghost and an Ultimate being burnt, as Zorinus just said, I've just beat you from afar.
Yeah, so action in all the solo lanes at this point here, and we can see once again another Scout of the Week landing, and this matchup is so brutal. It really does kind of extract the differences in mechanics, as Nox has found Ryoma.
That's beautiful. Really great work there. No flash, no chance to escape, and you're thinking, if he hits the perfect pillar, where can he go? Chirp's being bailed out, and he'll be happy about that one.
Yeah, absolutely will be. I mean, taking advantage, Ryoma, no flash, using it aggressively before is... Here we go, taking another look at the top lane play here. I think Thomasino might end up just getting frustrated with all the poke he's taking from Zorinus. It seems like that will be the case. Opts to go all in here, but crucially, that Q missing is huge, right? That damage there might have been the difference maker, but instead, Zorinus able to walk out, up a solo kill, and up 14 CS as well.
Well, being critical of Fury last game with the lane swaps, they're certainly hot on the one to read it this time around, with the bot lanes both being found in top now. Nice little roll swap, and in fact, I would say this actually favors Fury, with Thomasino being bot first.
Yeah, they took advantage of the massive wave crash top lane. That was kind of the reason that they went for that, to make sure they didn't give up the 2 and a bit waves that were crashed underneath that top lane turret following the solo kill. So this Kalista has kind of just been able to move around the map, mowing up CS wherever she likes, and is in quite a good spot heading towards that Blade of the Ruined King.
Certainly is. That major breakpoint is certainly what you're hunting for. Has the cull for the second game in a row, so really is quite keen to be aggressive, but at the same time, greed it up for all that extra gold that you can cash in later on. They are going to group up, and they are going to look towards the very first set of these Void Grubs for themselves. As Antic picks up the very first three, they'll look to deny any of those Void Mites from spawning and give us a second game in a row, actually, where it's just shared between.
Nice little split there. You can see that in a response to this, Zoranus will be able to walk down towards that bot lane and get some plates into his own back pocket. Tomasino opting to lean up to make sure that if a fight did break out, he would be available to respond. But this Nah has worked himself into quite a nice position here in this top lane 1v1. You can already see 20 CS up. Building towards his first item compared to Tomasino, who's only sitting on that chain vest and boots. So definitely a nice position to be in if you're Zoranus.
It is a nice position to be in. This Golden Shadow comes across and you're looking at Roma thinking the ultimate's there, but will he pull the trigger? He knows how close he's been on multiple occasions, actually getting close to lethal. But this time holds his own, needs more orbs available to dish out all the damage. And it's easier really for him to just keep the lane at arm's bay, if you will, right? And say, well, my jungler can just do as he pleases because he knows that mid lane's always going to be a point of priority.
That's the thing, and the question is, how do you actually respond to this as Fury, right? Trundle isn't the best champion at setting up a gank. Realistically, you'd want to have someone else with you, like a Nautilus, to be able to land that guaranteed CC, especially if there's Flash. But speaking of CC...
There is that guaranteed CC. It starts initially with the Fate's Call, the Flash, the Leap, and the straight disengage away. I respect your three-man dive attempt, but I'm not going to entertain it here today. Now, back to base Chirp goes. He's been forced back to base a fair few times this game. It'll act as a budget teleport, if you will, with all the extra mobility, or movement speed rather, to get himself back to this lane, but it's a little bit early before that second dragon spawns.
And that's the crucial thing. He's not going to have this available, you'd assume. Probably wanting to use it to push a lane or make a play towards this bot lane, but there's no real waves available, and that's the thing. When you are getting so far behind in this mid lane 1v1, you are forced to take these inopportune bases. You are forced to use the package like this more as a utility tool as opposed to an offensive one. So we can see if he holds onto it for a little bit here, but likely will be forced to use it in the early stages of this dragon fight.
And it's going to feel pretty poor if you just have to burn it on the next wave to make sure that you do have that lane priority to guarantee that you can play towards the second dragon. That's what you'd imagine it's going to be relegated to at this stage, as Antic control the mid lane. Fury are hiding in the shadows, waiting to try and capitalize on anybody they can. There is the package, there is the drive-by. They split the fight in half with the pillar guaranteeing that Swiper can go nowhere, but he flashes to safety. The Crescent Guard already burnt. He ticks down to the ignite that Fido had dealt him. And into a 4v5 they go. I think they've just done enough here to make sure second dragon is theirs.
They might have Skimmy. I'm not sure if Zoranus wants to let Hooper off for free here, as the Scout of the Week will miss. But that's just a 1-for-0. The dragon is available and Nox is heading towards it now with Chirp and Tomasino to back him up. But Swiper's respawn Skimmy. He's making his way down.
He certainly has, and Antic just have an HP advantage. If nothing more, they've gone for the flash and he's rooted in place all his teammates. That is not what you want to see. And I think King's just licking his lips there, thinking that's just too easy. That is far too easy to swing the balance back in our favor.
It's too easy because Antic managed to split Fury. You can see that the bot lane, this Kalista Nautilus, they want to get involved in the play, but they simply can't. They can't run through the four members of Antic. So instead, you've got the solo laners and the jungle of Fury isolated by themselves, and what should have really just been a dragon take, a second dragon pushing them towards that potential soul, ends up getting flipped against them.
And he does, for all the good work. It got a little bit undone in a lot of moments there, and really it's forced Chirp to then go split pushing journeys. It all starts off with a beautiful package, and Swiper's completely caught.
Yeah, the package is nice to split the fight here. You can see that the Aftershock does nice value in getting Findo out. Swiper just not tanky enough, not tanky as I think he thought he was. Jumping into the middle of 5 members there, ends up going down. But here is really the crucial moment here, right? You can see that Hooper wants to deal with this cannon wave so that Antic can't siege on the turret, but instead this results in them getting separated. You can see he loses his health bar, and now you've just got this Cassante and Corki down towards his bot side. There's nowhere near enough damage to burst this dragon down.
As you say, right, Fido and Hooper have no avenue inside that river, grouped up as a 4-man contingency. Antic to say whoever's in front of us will take down. Really was just as simple as that. Now this top lane Adder is hanging on for dear life as Tonus this nice gank. That tower was always going to fall. You wasted your time.
Yeah, that turret was going down. Zoranus once again proving that he is incredibly nimble on this Gnar. But it's nice to see a change of pace from Fury, right? They are actually up gold at this point in the game. They are making proactive plays to push forwards to take objectives. As Hooper might be caught out here. He does have Flash.
I mean, the Tongue Lash slows you so much, makes it so hard for players to Callista, but is able to get himself back to the safety of mid. Rest of Antic, though, are swarming around in the area, waiting for some prey to present itself. And also, well, if you're not going to show up, then we'll just go for this next objective. Another Herald in their hands would certainly make life easy. But will Nox have something to answer back with?
I don't think he can go for this. The TP is available for Ryoma, but Tomasino doesn't have his own. So if they did choose to fight, it would be a 4v5. With Mega popping at the same time, I think you just give this over, which is exactly what they're going to do. Is this bot lane, even Tomasino can't stand against Ryoma.
Nobody can deal with him. This champion is so annoying to deal with, and as you said, right, arguably Ryoma's best champion. You've banned away a few, but you just can't target his champion pool. He's played so many across his entire career that it feels like a bit of a waste in the banning phase. And ultimately he says, well, I can TP up, but we don't even need to because I'm just that strong. Can he though, Max? Handle the 1v2? Of course he can, but max range in the hook. Nautilus, what a champion, gets knocked up, gets stunned up, but still manages to push them back. There's the ultimate. Sweet dreams to you, Findo, as the cavalry arrive. There is the Devour. Nox locked inside the chain, straight into the minions. Beautiful little bit of tech there from King as a double kill comes out.
I, quite frankly, have no idea how Ryoma didn't die there. He just landed the most insane scout of the week of all time to make sure that even once he got hit by the hook, he didn't go down, right? He didn't even have to use Flash. He didn't have it there. So what starts off as a simple play, Ryoma's not done. He wants to make a play top line as well.
He certainly isn't done. This guy really is wanting to get the MVP this game. He is everywhere. Unbelievable performance from this man.
And this is a Syndra who is becoming a problem very quickly. Ludin's companion already completed. You can see needlessly large rod in the inventory as well. As we can see this replay once again, right? The hook lands max range, but look at that scout of the week, right? The second the Cassante W stops being channeled and he becomes stoppable, he ends up getting taken down. Just to add insult to injury, why not kill Findo with your ultimate?
It's phenomenal. Just the patience, the understanding, and the timing. The timing above all else there. Not to feel that you're in a dire situation, that you can hold your own 1v2. You're not just panic flashing away. It wasn't even up and available, Max. That's how strong he was. And yeah, really at this point, a bounty in his head. He's playing side lanes like he's a bruiser.
He can kind of do whatever he wants here, especially with the way that Antic are willing to move with him. You can see 4 members committing to get that vision in the topside jungle, allowing Ryoma to push freely. Keep in mind that there is a Herald in this inventory as well, in the inventory of this Xin Zhao. So if he does want to head towards this mid lane, that's always an option to break it open. Alternatively, just bring this powerhouse of a Syndra towards the lane and break it for free.
And it seems to be the case. They've heard you on this one here. 3 towers taken now. Tomasino on the flank looking for the kill. Rome is the focus, and why wouldn't it be? Instant devour from Draco though. Protect the president. He gets a massive shield and he's running for the hills. He's got his flash up and available now, but he doesn't need to use it. He'll probably use it aggressively instead. Oh, that damage into Nox. That's the tank, but absolutely destroyed. Make it free as they continue to press their W key, step forward and take down everybody in their sight.
That Devour absolutely saves the day for the side of Antic. It looks like a good collapse from Fury onto the Syndra, who didn't have Flash. It was just coming back up. But crucially, Draco uses that ultimate. It means that there's no knockback coming through. There's no CC from the Nautilus able to land. And once that Syndra spat out, he is completely fine. As here we go again, you can see the TP from Tomasino actually is off vision here. But crucially, Draco is the one who saves the flank. He means it gets Ryoma out of dodge, which enables him to DPS. And the second the Syndra is able to walk forward unafraid, the fight is done.
It is terrifying at this stage of the game, right? For all the good work Fury did in the early game, for how strong Hooper was to try a bit of a menace. He's found that first kill and not found a kill thereafter. They've tried to be creative, they've tried to flip the lanes, they've tried to upset the balance, and you can see that he's trying as hard as he can. Nearly at 8,000 gold, the second most in the game. But it's hard to not talk about the Syndra. Ryoma really is having such an unbelievable series.
And that's the hard thing in these fights, is how does this Ballista actually play? right? Because you have to avoid the Xin Zhao jumping on you. You have to avoid getting slowed by the center as they're looking again on mid lane.
Certainly are trying it again, see what they can find it this time around. Deval's about to come up forward in about 5 seconds. He's going to get swarmed around. No matter thick skin is going to protect you from this one. And it's Findo that actually takes the kill. That is probably as bad as it can get.
I admire the tenacity as Syndra.
What a champion. What a beautiful champion. Swiper says, oh, thank you so much. I love my mid laner. You can have one. I'll kill steal the other. That's essentially a triple kill.
Ryoma just feels like he is a cut above the rest at this stage. You can see how much damage that Scout of the Week did, giving Swiper the 2 freest kills of his entire life. And this Baron's up. It's only 20 minutes. There's a Rift Herald pushing in the mid lane. Antic wanting to recreate the dominance of Game 1.
They certainly do. It took a little bit longer to up the ante in this one, right? A few more kills going the way of Fury, a few more chances for them to claw back at that gold lead. But ultimately, the tune has never changed. They only collect dubs, and they only look to assert their dominance. It's no longer a case of playing for 1v1s. They like to entertain 1v2s, and once again, Zoranus is so slippery. Don't tell me he gets away again.
Skimmy, I got bad news. I think he does.
Unreal. Unreal.
That's going to hurt when you're losing Baron, you're losing 3 kills on the other side of the map, and you can't even kill that one Gnar, but it's this Syndra once again, and we can see the play. So Antic are, you know, getting capitalized on this mid wave. That's props to Fury for making sure they're not letting up. They are trying to force some mistakes, and they do end up getting Dragu. Obviously, it goes over to Findo, which is less than optimal, but it is this play here. They see this control ward placed, and I think they get a little overconfident because of the death of Dragu. Look at that Syndra damage.
It's unethical. It's illegal. It is disgusting, and it needs to be stopped right now. I actually want to check in and see how many stacks he has, because 85 on the Syndra, or rather the Stennis, so Stennis certainly hit that critical mass, or getting close to, as another route goes. That doesn't connect this timing with the Abyssal Dive, as Draken looks to try and lock in place one person. They'll turn their attention to Kasate. This guy's so beefy, but even he can't withstand that many members targeting him at once. And with the Baron already being taken, I mean, Antic can do as they please.
They absolutely can here, and I think if you're Antic, you just set up your Gnar in one of the side lanes or the mid lane and get him to push these waves, right? You look at the CC available from Fury. Besides the Nautilus, there's not really too much to actually pull the trigger on someone who's extended on the side lane. So I think you're very happy to just keep this Gnar by himself, tell Zoranus to stay alive, keep the waves Baroned up, and just play around this Syndra. Because at this point, anyone who's in range of a Scout of the Week is in range of death.
Well, they certainly are. You can see that all the stacks, all 120 splinters have been achieved. That's a 15% boost to the damage, nearly at 500 ability power already, and we're only 20 minutes in. So you really are, without any magic resist, just taking true damage. It's a little bit disgusting as they showcase how strong they are by breaking open the base. They'll take one inhibitor, but they'll definitely be looking for a team fight after Findo starts things off. In jumps Cher with the pack, and we're going to try and put up that big base defense. The chomp comes out. They protect him a little bit longer, but Thomas is going to drag Roma right back in. He flashes to safety. How did his members live? Dragu on the great escape right now, but even Nox can't chomp him on down. There's just no food. There's no chance. And that really looked like as best as it would get for Fury.
I don't believe it, Kimmy. I don't know how Ryoma time and time again manages to cheat death because of Dragu. He gets himself out there, TP's back in. It's a full HP Syndra. They want to crack this base.
They want to end this game as well. 26 minutes is the number to beat. That's what they did it in game 1. And at 23 minutes, they basically put themselves in a prime position to replicate that again. Back to base they go for one more big shot. Another Magi is picked up, of course. What would it be without that in the game?
Why not? Get the whole team Magi's at this point. They're playing that well. I think you could justify it on just about every single member, but Ryoma in particular is just untouchable. It really feels like that was the moment, like you said. There is a nice engage here from Findo to use the ult flash to kind of disrupt and catch the rest of Antic off guard. And the crucial thing they do here is separate Dragu, right? The package comes through to separate him as well, but just before Ryoma goes down, he's able to make up the distance that saves his mid laner. And once you're not able to get on King, once you're not able to get on Ryoma, there's just no way you're winning the fight.
They can't kill the carries. That's the most impressive part of this entire game, right? They've tried and tried and tried, but every single time, Antic have found a response. They've clawed themselves out of what looks like a bit of desperation and a little bit of disaster. But here they go again. Primed ready to go for that final inhibitor. All eyes turn to the bot lane as the passive pressure of those supers start to crash in.
The pressure is absolutely mounting here. Corki is relatively strong at this point in the game. You can see those rockets doing decent damage. But Findo taking so much himself.
Yeah, he certainly has been. He's going to lose vision for a second as he goes back inside the wall. Actually has to cop an ultimate from Hooper, even to protect him there, despite how close they are. But they can't base defend for much longer. Zoranus being a menace in the mid lane has scored in those supers. Then now top lane has just crashed. And it just draws their attention all over the show. Zoranus says, you can't kill me once. What makes you think you can kill me with 4 members? Out goes the Dawn Shadow. There is the mitigation from the global shield. And they just pick apart the members one by one. Tomasino dying at the top of your screen, getting chased off screen there by Swiper, whilst Ryoma conducts them into a line of stand here, get stunned, and get taken down.
Taken down will also be that third inhibitor. You can see minions pushing in mid, minions pushing in top. The 2 Nexus turrets in their sights.
This is the last
and a 2-0 to boot.
This really would be that last chance, and they're not going to find it. Find the first one to fall on down as they turn their attention on towards the Nexus itself. And jump swipe for Freeman stun! It continues to dazzle. We have been fanboying like you would not believe, but for good reason too. There is the ace to close it out, and back-to-back 20-minute victories.
How can you not